global news update on top accolade news. The headlines. Defense ministers of Eastern Nato countries advocate for flexible military measures. Global growth expected to slow as trade wars and policy uncertainty weighs on economies. Germany's FRIEDRICH MERZ pushes for debt rule loosening. Thailand considers reducing visa-free stay from 60 to 30 days. In politics, defense ministers of Eastern Nato countries advocate for flexible military measures. In a move driven by growing security concerns, the defense ministers of Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, and Poland have recommended the government withdraw from the Ottawa Convention, an international treaty banning anti-personnel mines. The ministers argue that in light of the increasing military threats from Russia and Belarus, NATO's eastern flank must have the flexibility to boost its defense capabilities, including the potential use of anti-personnel mines. The recommendation, which have raised criticism from humanitarian organizations, will now be put to the test in the four countries' parliament, with a final decision expected in the coming months. Shifting focus to economy. Global growth expected to slow as trade war and policy uncertainty weigh on economies. Global growth is set to slow in the coming years, with the United States facing a sharper decline due to the escalating trade tensions and policy shifts, according to the latest report from the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. The OECD projects a dip in global growth to 3.1% in 2025 and 3% in 2026, while the US economy could shrink to 2.2% this year and 1.6% in 2026, down from 2.8% last year. Tariffs imposed by President Trump on allies and adversaries alike are increasing costs and undermining confidence. While the Eurozone and Mexico faces sluggish growth, India and China are showing stronger prospects. However, the OECD points to artificial intelligence as a potential driver of productivity, offering some hope for the future. Still in economy, Germany FRIEDRICH MERZ pushes for debt rule loosening. FRIEDRICH MERZ is pushing for major changes to the country's strict debt rules, seeking to unlock funds for defense and infrastructure. MERZ, in coalition talks with the Social Democrats and the Greens, proposed a €500 billion investment fund, partly funded by borrowing to rejuvenate the economy and strengthen Germany's military in the face of growing threats, particularly from Russia. The ambitious plan would ease restriction on defense spending, including aid to Ukraine, and invest heavily in infrastructure, while also addressing climate-related goals. However, MERZ faces opposition from some parties and must secure a two-thirds majority in both the lower and upper houses of the parliament. The package has stirred debate over the balance between fiscal responsibility and urgent national security needs. Moving to international relations. Thailand considers reducing visa-free stay from 60 to 30 days. Thailand is considering a significant change in its visa-free policy, which could reduce the maximum stay for foreign tourists from 60 days to just 30 days. This move comes after reports that some visitors have been exploiting the visa exemption to run illegal businesses in the country. Last year, Thailand had expanded its visa-free scheme, allowing travelers from 93 countries and territories to stay longer. But now the government is looking to tighten the rules in response to growing concerns about misuse of the system. You are watching the Global News Update on Top Accolade News. Do stay with us. Still to come. Thanks for staying with us. In conflict, Israeli airstrike killed at least 326 in Gaza. Israeli airstrike across the Gaza Strip have claimed the lives of at least 326 Palestinians, including women and children. The attack shattered a ceasefire that had held since January, as Prime Minister Netanyahu ordered the strike in response to Hamas's refusal to meet Israeli demands for a new agreement. With hundreds more wounded and Gaza hospitals overwhelmed, the violence threatens to reignite the ongoing 17-month war. The United States voiced support for Israelis' actions, while critics, including families of the hostages, accused the Israeli government of abandoning efforts to secure the release of captives held by Hamas. The situation in Gaza remains there as rescuers search for survivors in the rubble. Moving to crime, Peru declares state of emergency in Lima. Peru's president has declared a state of emergency in Lima following a surge in violence, including the fatal shooting of well-known singer Paul Flores. Flores, the 39-year-old lead vocalist of a band, was killed early Sunday when assailants attacked the bus carrying him and his bandmates after a concert. The attack is believed to be linked to extortion threats against the band. The state of emergency, which will last for 30 days, allows for military deployment and restriction on civil liberties as the government battles rising crime and violence, including extortion and killings. Public outrage is growing and vote of no confidence against the interior minister is expected in the coming days. With over 450 killings so far this year, the government is considering further drastic measures, including potential reintroduction of the death penalty. Moving to entertainment, Jonathan Anderson steps down as LOEWE creative director. Fashion designer Jonathan Anderson has announced he is stepping down as creative director of Spanish luxury house LOEWE after 11 years. Anderson, known for his innovative gender-fluid designs and iconic looks like Rihanna's Super Bowl halftime outfit, made the announcement on Instagram, expressing gratitude for the team behind him. His departure marks a significant shift in the fashion world, with reports suggesting he could be headed to Christian Dior. Anderson's tenure at LOEWE saw remarkable growth, solidifying the brand's modern luxury vision. He won Designer of the Year at the 2024 Fashion Awards for the second consecutive year. Now in sports, IOC president calls for keeping politics out of the games. Thomas Bach, the ongoing president of the International Olympic Committee, has urged his successors to maintain the neutrality of the Olympics amidst growing political tension. Bach emphasized the importance of keeping sports separate from politics, citing the peaceful coexistence of athletes from competing countries, including Russia and Ukraine, at the Paris Olympics. Bach's tenure has been marked by global challenges, including the COVID-19 pandemic and political unrest. As the 2028 Olympics approach in Los Angeles, Bach faces challenges posed by rising political divides in the United States, especially surrounding issues like transgender athletes. Despite concerns, Bach remains confident in the US's love for sports and its support for the game despite the ongoing culture wars. That concludes our global news update for today. Stay tuned for more global news and developments. Thanks for joining us. I am Ojorume Okocha. Connect and engage with us on all our social media handles. Do have a wonderful day.